This is Jefferson Davis over at blindphotography.us. I hope everyone's having a good day. So today we're going to talk about apertures and what they mean and what they do. So this is a voiceover, so I'm using this, excuse my drawing. Uh, so I have a camera here and a little guy, okay? So we're going to say that this is a 50 millimeter lens, and I'm going to make some mistakes here, sorry, but it's just easier if I do this all in one cut. So we're going to say that the lens of this camera is a Kodak Retina 2C, which is a camera from made between 1954 and 1957. We're going to say that there's 4 meters or around 13 feet between the subject and the camera. And then I'm going to realize I made a mistake and I'm going to have to start over. So what happened here is I thought I was recording audio as I was doing this, so I was talking my way through it. And then I realized, whoops, I'm not recording audio, so I got to do a voiceover. So that's what we're doing now. So the reason behind this, while I'm figuring out what I'm doing here, is that to start with, I wanted to help my wife to understand apertures and what they do and what they mean and how it all works. So why not make a YouTube video and X video showing you guys and gals how it all works. So now I'm going through again and I'm writing it out. So that we're going to say 4 meters or around 13 feet. Everything else is in metric when it comes to cameras, so it's better just to keep the distance in meters as well. So here I'm telling you that f2.8 will cover one subject or one person. So if you're photographing a portrait, odds are you're around 12 feet if you want to capture any background with that person. So around 12 feet. Now we're going to 2 people, and I realized that I have to erase again. So this is the first time I've done this, and I was a little unsure of myself here. Okay, so there we go. So, and now I realize I erased half of the meters, so I got, well, let's write all that again. This is really a little bit longer than it needs to be, but why not talk while I am doing the work? Or I was doing the work anyway. So 4 meters, 12 to 13 feet. Right? Now you have 2 subjects. And usually if you have like a husband and wife or 2 friends together, one will be behind the other. Usually not side by side. One will be right behind the other. So you want to use an f5.6 in general to capture 2 people or around at 50 millimeter from 12 feet. That'll get you about 2 feet of depth and focus, so that you get both of those people. Because in reality, if one is right behind the other, or a little bit to the side, then they're between the 2 eyes, there's only about 6 inches of difference. So f5.6 will get you 2 subjects, and I'm using this. This is a simplified way of explaining it. So then we're going to do 3 people. So I'm adding a third, but then I remember, oh yeah, I got to go back and erase these lines. So this is the first time I've done this. Hopefully can figure out a quicker way to do it in the future. So we're still at the same distance. And we're going to go with an f8. Now f8 in reality will get you let's say at 4 meters with a 50 millimeter lens at f8, that'll get you more than 3 people. That should get you a whole group of people, but I just wanted to help you to understand how much aperture, what aperture say you need for however many people. So it'll get you more than 3 people deep, but just to be on the safe side, we're going with f8 here. So now I'm going to And I'm looking here, and if any of you guys know me, you know that I'm blind as a bat, so I'm having fun trying to keep track of myself here. So now we are going to go with 4 people, and I'm going to suggest in a moment, if I ever am able to write this out. So we have 4 people here, but in reality, what I was saying was, let's say you have a wedding and you have 10, 15 people you want to get in a shot, or maybe even more. Maybe it's an entire family. Maybe there's 30 people you want in a group shot where you're going to need to shoot at a really high aperture like f11. Don't use f16 because you start getting diffraction and weird effects in the faces when you use f16, depending on the lens, of course, but that's usually the case. I think I messed up here. I gotta go back and fix it. So that f11 that I wrote there is supposed to be it. Yeah, f11. So that is a whole group. So you're going to be able to get the entire group, everyone, 50 millimeter lens around 12 meters. Mind you, if you're going to have a group that big, you're going to back up a lot. So you would really be at about 6 to 8 meters away from the subject. So now I'm going to explain apertures. So I'm just going through and hiding all the stuff except for the picture of the camera. The little drawing of the camera there, very rough drawing. So now I'm going to draw a perfect circle. Boop. I love how that happens. This is fresco that I'm using, if you don't know that. And I love to draw in fresco because it does oil painting and all kind of stuff. So now I'm going to explain aperture. So why we said it was f2.8 lens. What am I writing here? So Kodak Retina. My writing, because my vision is so bad, is bad. So Retina, Kodak Retina 2C, small c. They made so many Kodaks, f2.8. So at f2.8, the lens aperture is wide open. So you're getting everything that can come in, every little bit of light, photons that can feasibly bounce into the lens will go in. So it's like a fountain of just getting everything. But the only thing with the f2.8 is you're getting everything, but you also have a really smaller, let's say about 8-inch field of focus. So I'm putting, this is f4, what I have circled up here. Then it's going to take me a moment to, whoops, I just got a notification here. So it's going to take me a moment. I'm thinking. So that is f4. So what we're going to do, we're going to rest that and do it again. We're going to do an f8. And yeah, I totally wonked that up. That is wonky. It's supposed to be a perfect circle. I messed it up. Now, I said that's f8, and it's really smaller than that, but I was doing the best I could. So the higher the number, the more you have in focus, but the less amount of light that can come into the lens. Thus, you have to either, in regards to digital, you just turn the ISO up to f11. There's f11. There's an example of f11. And that one's pretty good. And then the f16, which is, most lenses now go to f22, but years ago it was just f16. My Kodak only goes to f16, I believe. It may go to 22. I don't remember. So that is pretty much the equivalent of f16. It's a lot smaller. So an example I gave for this was, I'm trying to think here. the less light that comes in, so let's say in the beginning, because that one goes up to 1/500th of a second. So in the beginning, you're at f2.8, 1/500th of a second is your setting for 100 ISO speed film, so you're out in the sun, right? So, with that, let's say you want to change it, you want more people in the shot. Let's say you have a small group, but they're all pretty, well in the front. So it's a narrow field of focus. You don't need a lot. Let's say you need f8. So we're going to go f2.8 to f4. I didn't necessarily show that, but there is an f4. f5.6, that's a whole stop more than f2.8. And then f8, that's another half a stop. So every time you click the shutter over, that's 3 clicks, or your aperture over 3 clicks, that's 3 clicks on your shutter speed as well. So you have to slow it down. So you would go to 1/250th, 1/125, and 1/60th. So then you would have to mentally in your mind make the determination, if you're using film at least, is 1/60th fast enough? Is everyone going to be sharp? Is everyone going to be in focus? And at f8, at f8, yes, everybody will be in focus with a standard group photo. However, 1/60th may not be sharp because when you click the shutter, you're shaking the camera, and 1/60th is kind of slow. For normal stuff, it's okay, but I try to stay at my age at 1/125th. So you have to make that determination. So if you have to go back up to 1/125th of a second, then that would be f5.6, and you would have to be okay with maybe somebody in the background who kind of got away from the rest of them. May be a little bit out of focus, but it's going to be very minimal. Nobody in the wedding party or whatever party it is, event or whatever, is going to notice or even care. You're going to care about it, but they don't care. Now, if you're on digital, then you can shoot at f8. You just raise the ISO to 400, and then you're good. You can stay at a higher shutter speed. So these are the things that I hope will help people, including my wife, understand what aperture, different aperture numbers mean and what it means as far as photographing somebody. So if you want to photograph a group, f8, but then you got to figure out your shutter speed corresponding to that. But any app, light meter app will work for that. So yeah, that's a determination you have to make. So f2.8 will get one person, f4 or f5.6 will get 2 people as long as they're close together. f8 will get a small group as long as they're all pretty close to the same distance from you. And f8 will get most groups, unless it's like 100 people or something, then you may have to shoot at f11. But that's all from Jefferson Davis, blindphotography.us. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.